Hi, welcome to the DIY wood sign kit. Today we're going to be doing two signs. One will be a Seabrook cheer sign and the other will be a name sign. We're going to show you two techniques and of course you can always do whatever you'd like on the sign. You don't have to follow our rules here. Anyway, once you open up your cellophane kits, you should have a white wood sign like this with either a gray or tan sticker thing on top, which is in the shape of a square. And then on top will be cut out words and a cut out kind of silhouette or your name cut out. We're going to be using this tan stencil as kind of a guide, and then when we're done, we're going to be removing it, peeling it off, and we'll be left with a perfect image on the whiteboard, hopefully. In your kits, you should have two paper plates. There should be two here. You should have some pink paint, some orange paint, some blue paint, some different kinds of paints. And you will also have this little cup with an orange sticker. It says step 1, so we're going to be using this first. It should be white. You should have a safety pin inside of the bag right there, as well as some squishy triangular shaped sponges. In addition, you'll have an apron. So you're going to go ahead now and pull that out and put that on. And also make sure that if you're doing this, because you are using paint, make sure you put something down, cardboard or brown paper or old newspaper, anything. Now paint may get on your fingers, but if it gets on your clothes, you want to wash that off right away. It is acrylic paint. Anyway, so we'll get started. So you have two paper plates, and once you get the apron on, what you're going to do is dump these paints onto the plate. All right, so I've done that over here. So you should have one clean plate and then one paint with your colors on it. Now what we're going to be doing here for the sign is we're going to be getting out some of these orange squishy things, and we're going to be using the step 1 paint, which I've dumped onto the plate. That can also be used for touch-up after the board, after the stencil's removed. But anyway, we're going to be using the number 1, step 1 paint, and we're going to be putting a very light coat around the letters, or if you have a name, we're going to be putting it like on your name. So you'll be putting it in the white areas in between your name. Like pretend this is a letter, M or whatever, you're going to be putting it inside. You're not going to want to put it on here because that's going to just be pulled up. So we're going to be grabbing one of these triangular sponges, holding it between your thumb and your pointer finger, like this, like a crocodile kind of. And you're going to be holding it firmly with the flat base, and you're going to dip it into the step 1 white. And then you're going to kind of rub it in, give it a good kind of, kind of wiggle in that paint. And then you're going to actually grab your other plate and do a quick dip to make sure you don't have any globs of paint. That looks pretty good. So we're going to come over to the sign, and we are going to go ahead and start to apply the white paint. Now the reason we're applying this white paint is because sometimes when you apply colors onto a stencil, the colors can bleed. I don't know if you guys have ever painted a bathroom, your parents have painted a bathroom, but sometimes you put a blue painter's tape up and you paint over top of it, and then when you peel the paint tape up, there's these little fingerling bleeds. So we don't want that to happen, and to prevent that, we're hoping that this white paint bleeds, and since the board is white, you won't see it, and then when we add the paint over top, it should be a perfect image. So we're going to go ahead and dab it up and down and kind of a swirl. So it's kind of up and down with a swirl. So if that makes sense, up and down and swirl. And you're not going to want to glob it on there. You're going to want to just kind of blend. So we're going to go up and down. Now some of you will see that there's this green kind of all over your all over like the inside. That's because there's actually a green color behind the stencil to make your life easier. So basically just go right over the green areas with the white. We're going to dab up and down. And then you're going to go ahead and blend it as much as you can. You can see it shouldn't be really wet, but it should be kind of like parents like foundation. So if you put too much on, you see a wet glob there, just go ahead and spread that out until it's very even. And you're not going to want to put it on and then kind of rub it back and forth, because that's going to create almost like a glue seal over top. You really want to go up and down dabbing, because that's going to build the layers of paint so that it won't bleed. We're going to go ahead up and down the whole stencil. See, that was way too much, so I'm going to take that and kind of spread it out over here. And then over here on this image, and those of you who have the name ones, you're gonna, you don't have to really worry about the middle so much, but just where the stencil, this tan or gray thing, meets the white part. So you're gonna kind of go in between there, up and down. If that makes sense. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Really, it's just to kind of help the bleeding. All right, so we've gone ahead and this is pretty good. You shouldn't see too much white. If you see any globs, go ahead and dab them to make sure it's not wet at all. And, maybe this is a time to take a quick drink break or anything you need. And then it should be pretty dry, but you want to make sure that any paint that got underneath the stencil dries. So give it a few minutes and then come on back. All right, well, welcome back. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to show you the ombre process. There's also another process called unicorn spit. And there's, of course, just the standard stencil coloring. So you can feel free to do these things or you cannot. Now, the Seabrook Cheer, we're going to show you, I'm going to actually ombre. I'm going to do a regular color on the top, and then I'm going to ombre the second one, and then unicorn spit her, and solid color him. All right, so we're going to get our sponge out. And the first one I'm going to show you is ombre. So you're going to get two sponges, actually. One you're going to use to start at the top, and one you're going to use to start at the bottom. Then you're going to get that paper plate with your colors. And we are going to, dip it into the pink. And then we're going to use that extra paper plate. I know it sounds crazy, but we're going to take it off. We're going to take almost all that paint off there. All right? Then we're going to start at the feet. I'm sorry. We said we were going to ombre cheer. Okay. So we're going to start at the C. And then I'm going to actually ombre going, I guess, this way to this way. So we're going to start at this end. And we're going to just dab it very, very lightly. See how choppy and bad that looks? That's perfect. It should look horrible. The worse it looks, the better it will be. Now I'm going to grab that other dabber, and I'm going to dip it into, I think we said, we're going to do the, am I going to do the black? Yeah. I'm going to do the black, and we're going to dab up and down. Oops. And just up and down right here. You might see a few little lines, so you just twist your dab around so you don't see those lines. And you're gonna get to about halfway and then stop. And put your dabber down over there, the black, and now pick up your pink one over here. Dip it in the pink again, take it off on the paper plate, and then start at the bottom again and go a little bit closer. Now we're going to be blending, we're gonna stop right before it meets. We're going to be blending the lighter color into the darker color. So we're gonna go back over with the black and get right to where the pink starts, right? All right, and then we're going to grab that sponge and start blending. We want to do it when it's fairly wet because you don't want the colors to just pull off when you do it. All right, then grab a little bit more pink. Start from the bottom again if you'd like. And then we'll blend into the black. All right, there we go. So I haven't got, so basically it's going to go pink to black. And the middle should look horrible, choppy, but I love it, okay? Now here's just gonna be a solid. This is just the solid color. And we're gonna use pink because that's the outside color. We're gonna take some off on our paper plate like we were. And very, very lightly, we're gonna go over. See how choppy, and there shouldn't be any globs. A lot of people ask, well, how long do I have to wait for it to dry? Well, you don't. If you have to wait for it to dry, then you've used too much paint. So you're just gonna go up and down. If you need a little more paint, grab some, take it off on the paper plate, sample dab, okay, that looks good, and up and down. See how choppy that looks? It should look just like a big mess. And then when you touch it, it should already be dry. That's how little paint we're using, and we're doing several coats of that. The trick is less paint, better results. The more paint you use at one time, the more bleeding you'll have, and the less defined it will look. And see that? I did a little bit too much there, so it's okay. I'm gonna take some off on my paper plate, and then up and down dab to get some of that off and spread it around. All right, so that's gonna be our, I'm moving it away here. That's going to be our standard, our ombre, and the next one we're gonna do is called unicorn spit. Now I'm going to be doing unicorn spit with the blue and the orange, which some of you have. So what we're gonna do, again, grab 2 sponges, and then we're going to dip the paint into the blue, and then we're gonna dip the paint into the orange. And then you're just gonna basically take some off, and then you're going to just, I guess, what did we say? We're gonna unicorn spit her. All right, so we're gonna go kind of in our own pattern. You know, you can go a lot, a little, and if you don't like the little spongy, you know, squares, you can actually use your finger. Get in there and do some little dots. Some of you do have Q-tips too in there. If you want to do some Q-tips and you want to, there you go, just dot, 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 kind of everywhere. You don't want to use too much paint. You just want, you know, you want it to still take it off on the sponge. There's a little bit too much, but all right. And then I'm going to flip it around and use the other side for the blue. And then I'm going to go in and just kind of random little dots. And it might take you a while to use the Q-tip with it, but whatever you prefer. There's no right or wrong. And you want to make sure you fill it up. You don't see any of the white because obviously you want to make sure you show the shape of the person. I'm going to go back in with some of the blue. And whatever color you want to dominate, you will put that color last. And then of course, the black, I was just going to show a solid color. If you just want one single color, take the black off. Sometimes you can use a side of the stencil, but you're going to go up and down, just very, very lightly. See how light we're going to fill in this gentleman. You're not going to want to concentrate. Don't concentrate on the edges. Try to fill it in without touching the edges for the first coat. See how I'm kind of filling it in? And then the second coat, you can get a little closer to the edges. And it doesn't look like you're putting a whole ton of paint, and you're not, but I'll show you with the results after. All right. So there is the, grabbing some more black, taking it off on the paper plate. Here we're taking it off, yep. All right. All right, I think I'm gonna do a little bit more orange in there. Give her some depth. All right. All right, so now you have a paper clip in your bag. You're gonna get that out, very carefully squeeze it, and it should have a sharp edge. Now, when you go to remove the stencil, you don't wanna dig directly into it. You wanna go to the side, and you wanna dig into the stencil, but you're going to want to go ahead and, let me show you. You're going to want to scoop the edge, get it started, and then pull it away. See that? And then you can either start by doing the insides, or you can start taking the outside. But you see how I'm going sideways, getting it started, and then once you get it started, you can go ahead and pull it off. All right, so continue that. Oops. And make sure you're getting inside of all those little things. So that B right there has got, I'm sorry, nope, the pink does not have anything. Sorry about that. All right, there we go. So just the parts where it's supposed to be green is removable, and then the rest is supposed to be pink. That's right. All right. Forgot the K. And take your time, you know, make sure you get all these little areas right here missing. All right, and then you're going to grab the corner of the stencil and you're going to slowly pull it to the side. And you should be getting an image similar to mine. There you go. And here's just another little, little piece that stuck in there. If it looks a little wonky, it's probably because there's a piece stuck in there, but there you go. Seabrook Shear. Have a great birthday.